Should you get a bike at 16 or wait an extra year until you're 17 years of age? Oh my god, I got something in my eye. Can't see. So without wasting any time, we're going to break this down into pros and cons. Okay, 50cc pros, 50cc cons, 125cc pros, 125cc cons. Simple as that. Getting a 50cc, the pros. So let's say now you're 16 years of age and you want to get 50cc. A year gap between a 125 and a 50. Okay, first of all, you're going to get a lot of riding experience. Say the two people here, person A and person B. Person A starts on a 50cc at 16. Person B starts at 125 at 17. What person A has over person B now, they've been riding for a whole year, okay? That's 1 year's extra experience. They've made all the mistakes already, okay? Person B now, they're going to have to make all the mistakes on a bigger bike, a bigger, more expensive bike. Naturally, during that whole year, you're going to need insurance on that bike. So having that extra year, you've now got 1 year no claim bonus. So people ask, what's the no claims bonus? Like, oh, I don't need one. Trust me, when you're, say you start at 50cc and now you have a 1 year no claim bonus when you go for your 125, that's going to severely help you when you're getting your insurance. It's going to make it cheaper. I can show I've been running for a year and I haven't made a claim, so I'm more likely to be trustworthy, not to crash. It shows your insurers that you know what you're good at, you're riding your bike. Okay, you haven't made any claims, etc, etc. I don't think this one really needs to be said, but getting a 50cc, yeah, it's fun. They're cheap, small bikes, you can just fling around anywhere, and they're just fun to have, really. So while all your friends will be taking public transport everywhere, you're now on a 50cc just having fun, and you're going to be riding around everywhere, getting around everywhere. It's going to be nice and fun for you. You're going to be doing all those stunts on wheelies, going out with your guys, while everyone else is stuck at home because they don't have a 50cc and you do. At the end of the day, a 50cc is still a motorbike, yeah, so you're still going to have all the same motorbike fun that you'd have if you didn't have a 50cc, or if you had a bigger bike, shall I say. My guy, you know. Oh, that's funny. Because bikes are 50cc's, it's going to be cheap, okay? You can see moped for £500, £400 maybe. I'm sure they might come up to like £1,000. But let's be real, okay? You save up a couple years, get a job, yeah? You're now having fun, okay? And they're going to be cheaper than a 125 regardless, yeah? And they're going to be very difficult to find a 125 for £500. And if it is, probably going to be a cat S and cat N, and they're going to be like, probably like broken. Another thing that it does, it gives you freedom, okay? But in the 50cc at 16, you're now free to do anything you want, okay? You can go wherever you want, you can ride wherever you want. Of course, you can't go on motorways, you can't be going to another side of like the country and whatnot. But you're basically on the 50cc, you're free to do whatever you want, okay? It gives you absolutely freedom. There's no more, I need a lift, I need a taxi, I can't go that way because I need some money. That doesn't happen anymore because you have a 50cc and you can go wherever you want now. It's up to you. Another thing, it saves you a year's worth of public transport. You're now free to do whatever you want, and that means no more public transport. So you now save all that money that you spend for trains and taxis and buses. You can now do whatever you want. And the thing is, you won't realize it, but that's going to save you so much money. Like, I mean so much money. Hey God, how many times throughout a year you go public transport? You just saved, I'm going to say a good maybe £100, £200, yeah? And if you bought a moped for £500, that's almost like half your money back. I get kind of the gist of this now. Everything's cheap. Everything's cheap with these 50cc's, okay? And so the insurance is cheap. Once again, the 50cc mopeds, you're getting insurance for about 100, 200, okay, that's maybe a lie. You're getting insurance for about £500, yeah? So cool, that might be the same price that the bike. You might pay £500, £600 for the bike, and now paying £500 for the insurance. But that's overall £1,000. That's all you need, £1,000, okay? With a 125 now, you're looking at way more, way more. Okay, because 125, the more expensive, more power, more cc, more likely to get injured, to make a claim, etc, etc. So that's pretty much all your pros when it comes to the 50cc. To me, it just seemed like a fun way, a cost-effective way to get out on the road and have some fun. The 50cc has a lot of pros. So what's the point in getting 125? Well, the 125 has so many pros, just as much as the 50cc pretty much. And you know what's more fun than having fun? Having more power, okay? You can go faster, you can go on motorways, the speed unleashed is something totally different. Oh my god, I'm actually lost. How do I get out of this place? You're going to have so much fun on a 125 compared to a 50. It's going to be unbelievable. Overtaking is going to be easier. It's going to, everything, your whole life is just going to be made so much more easier now that you have a 125. So although we shouldn't be thinking about other people's perspective and whatnot, 125s are ultimately respected more. 50cc's are almost the laughing stock of the community, not only in the motorbike community, just in general. Okay, people make fun of them, the exhaust, everything. 125, they respect them, they look like bigger bikes, and so naturally, get more thumbs up, you're gonna get more looks, it's gonna be more cooler. Okay, if that's what you care about, then you know, don't have to take in consideration. And another point that's better than 50cc's is that the money spent that you would spending on the 50c, that's on behind the bike, the insurance, any modifications you do, that could be going into that 125. So if you save up all that money for that extra year, you can get yourself a better, a bigger, a more cooler, a more expensive bike. You can get a better cover of insurance if you save up for that extra year instead of buying a 50c. That's something to compare. Because you can sell the bike, the 50c, but you're not going to get much money for it. And you're not going to be as better as you just saved up all that money. So it depends if you want some fun for that year, or do you want to save all that money and get a better bike for the long term. So, you know, it's like short term or long term kind of comparison there we're looking at here. Now you're on a 125cc or A1 license or above. You're not able to go on motorways, so you can now travel between different, not countries per se, but like different parts. You can go to London to Brighton and London to Luton, I don't know. You can just go anywhere you want. Alright, you're in control. Like, you're not restricted by law to where you can go, if that makes sense. 125s have really good sounding exhaust. People often confuse the 125 to either a Kropovich and Scorpion exhaust on them with bigger 500, 600cc bike. It's a known fact 125cc's have really good exhaust. Being said though, what are the cons of having a 50cc? Because sure, it can give you freedom and you've got to do what you want, but like with everything, stuff comes with a cons. There's a positive side and there's a negative side to everything. Like I briefly mentioned earlier, 50cc's get made fun of. They're stereotyped, might get pulled over a lot because they're often used with gangbang activity and whatnot. So 50cc's often get made fun of and they're not respected in the community. 50cc's also struggle as well. Like I said, they only have 50cc power with a 50cc engine, and so their engines struggle a lot going up hills and going a bit like 40mph roads, considering they're restricted to only 50cc. With a max speed of 28 miles per hour, a 50cc might struggle to go certain places and may not be the most fun you can ever have, considering like your bike will slow you down in traffic. You won't be able to keep up with faster bikes, that kind of thing. Ride-outs won't be as much fun on a 50cc because your bike doesn't have that much power, etc, etc. Although I said that the insurance are really cheap on 50cc's, that can't be said for all of them. Some 50cc sport bikes and supermotors and dirt bikes can have really expensive insurance, and that's just because they're often made claims on because they're newer bikes. Learners have them, and so they're often made claims on because they get crashed a lot from people trying to learn how to ride a bike. So that's why you'll find often that the insurance can be really expensive. And once again, if you get a 50cc motorbike, you're going to often end up having to put up with really horrible tinny, you know, hairdryer exhaust, which like again get made fun of. They're common theme with the cons here. They just don't really get respected in the community, and the exhaust, the engine, all that kind of thing, it doesn't get respected. Another thing to note as well, is can also be seen as a waste of money, as you're only holding the bike for a year and you're paying almost $1,000, sometimes $2,000 onto a 50cc that you're only going to have for a year, and that you might drop and you might break and then you might not get your money back. So it almost seems like a waste of money because like you're not making no money back on it when you sell it again. But like I said, these things sell for cheap and you might have damages on it, have to get repairs because you drop it. You might not be seeing it as money well spent when you, like I said earlier, you could be saving it for a 125. Those are your 50cc cons. But what about the 125? They surely have cons as well, right? First of all, remember person A and person B. Remember person A was on a 50cc and person B started on a 125cc. Person A now has a whole year's extra experience than person B. Person B now, when they get a 125cc at 17, they're excited, they're buzzing, they've got a big engine, they're ready to go. But now they don't know how to handle the bike, they don't know how to handle the power, and they're not ready. They didn't have a 50cc before that, and so they weren't ready, they weren't practicing, they don't know the skills, they're making all their mistakes now on the bigger bike, which means they're more prone to crashing on the bigger bike, which means they want to make a claim on the bigger bike, which means you won't have a bike, your insurance will go up, your premium will go up, and there'll be a whole lot more problems for the person B on the 125 because they didn't have that extra year's experience and training. Insurance depends on your own factors and something that I can't control. But what's typically seen though is that 125 insurance is more expensive because of the reason I just stated. You got a bigger engine, bigger bike, you have a good chance you might make a claim, especially if you started at a 125 and you don't have any no claims bonus or anything like that. Okay, now, and actually sometimes it is cheaper than a 50cc because you have no claim bonus and you're not commonly associated with racing, and 50cs often are associated with, you know, getting thrown around and dangerous driving and whatnot, and so the claims are tending to be higher because you're a younger rider as well. Your insurance goes down with age, like most things, and so being on a 125 at 17 compared to your 50c at 16, you're a good chance that your insurance might be cheaper. Okay, remember person B, when they get their bike now at 17 years of age, okay, they need to do so much more than a person A at 16. B now has to get the gear, the insurance, the bike, MST for second hand, all of that, all at one go, and it's going to be more expensive. The gear and whatnot won't be more expensive, but the insurance may be more expensive and the bike will be more expensive. That means there's more money going out all at one go. Person A now, at 16, they already have all their gear, so when they turn 17 now, they can sell that bike. Let's say they bought for £600, they sell it for £400. That £400 now can go towards the insurance and getting the 125cc, okay? And so you can be weighing up the whole cost. Sure, they might end up paying the same amount overall, but it's spread out. Person A's spend that whole money for a course of 1 year, okay? Person B though, spend all that money all in one go, and it could be more expensive for you in the long run if you get a motorbike at 17 instead of at 16. 125cc's are more expensive to buy, okay, and so you're going to be having to pay almost 4 times, 5 times the amount of money you'd pay for a 50cc just because you got a bigger engine, more technology gone into the bike. They're often not Chinese made, they're more like Japanese or Italian made sometimes, and so the parts are more expensive, the more durable. Of course you're going to get better quality, it's more value for money, but it is naturally more expensive. What I want you to do now is compare the 50cc and the 125, okay? Keep an open head and don't be biased, okay? Don't be like, oh, I really like to look at that 125 and I don't like to look at the 50, and so I won't get a 50. Sure, that's a fair judgment to make, but weigh them up, look at the spreadsheet I've made on the screen, take a picture of it, put your own inputs in, and see how they compare, okay? But what you want to do is make a fair judgment and weigh up the cost. Because frankly, you can want a 50cc at 16 all you want, but if you don't have the money for it, then dreams goodbye. You know what I'm saying? And so just weigh them up, compare them, and get a fair argument as possible and see how it goes. Yeah, I hope this video has been helpful in weighing out the pros and cons of a 125 and a 50c at 16 and 17 years of age, and I hope I made that decision a little bit easier for you and walk you through my thought process when I was deciding what to do. But that's it for today's videos, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Leave any comments or thoughts you have down below and I'll be happy to answer them, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.